Are you someone who knows all the answer but could not explain in the interview? I have been that guy. I got rejected multiple times just because of my bad communication skills, not for my technical skills. I come from a Bengali-medium background, which is a state board, and today I am recording this entire video in English. I'll show you from there how I got here. Before we begin, let me set a realistic expectation. No, you won't be fluent in next 30 days, but if you constantly follow this for next 2 to 3 months, I can almost guarantee you that you'll be more confident and you'll be more comfortable speaking in English communication. So now let's start with the first thing that completely changed everything for me. The biggest problem is not the vocabulary or the grammar, but it is how you speak or the confidence, right? Because when you start speaking first time or initially, you are not accustomed to it, your own voice. So you start questioning yourself that am I speaking weirdly or am I pronouncing it wrongly? So what I did to overcome that, I started reading newspaper. Yes, I started reading newspaper loud in the morning for 30 minutes. And every time I was stuck with any new words, I try to search that word in Google or any dictionary, and then I try to get the pronunciation, and then I try to practice that for 10 to 15 times, and then I used to complete the entire sentence. By this way, I got a good confidence about only speaking. And the goal was very simple. The goal was not to learn anything, but the goal was to just to have the confidence so that I can speak in front of anyone and I should not feel embarrassed about it. Also, I did another thing which I used to like a sports magazine. So I used to take that magazine and I used to read that loud, sometimes even in a weekdays or weekend as well, so that I get a little knowledge as well as the different words and the confidence to speak and own sounds properly. Reading out loud changed a lot, but that wasn't enough to speak properly because you need to have a vocabulary and you need to have a basic sense of a grammar. So you don't have to be a master in grammar, but you should have a basic idea of what is like had, have, will, when to use a past tense, when to use a present, future, all these things, when to add a small a's into your words. So you should know the basic or not the nuances of the grammar, right? So what I started learning a basic of grammar so that I don't miss out when I'm speaking. And next, what I'm gonna tell you, you might love hearing this or you might not even heard of it. But what I did to increase my vocabulary is I started reading one book that is called Word Power Made Easy. The price of the book was very less. It was maybe 80 rupees, now maybe 150 rupees hardly INR. But that book really helped me a lot because that book was not only about a vocabulary, it was about the root of the word. So if you understand one root, it will help you get a knowledge of maybe 10 to 12 or 15 words altogether. So that also gives me a confidence or knowledge to speak properly. So I would recommend you first to get a little idea on the grammar. I can share you the link in the description. You can go through that website and you can get a basic idea. If you have any grammar book, you can just pick that book. I know it's very hard to pick a book. And secondly, definitely try to get a bit of your vocabulary, work on a bit of the words. If you can, just read that book, Word Power Made Easy. Or if not, just try to download two types of dictionary, one from English to your native language and another one from native to English. Anytime you're stuck with any words, put up over there and get that word immediately so that you can just repeat and can store in your mind. Also, you might not need a dictionary right now because we have all these AI tools like a ChatGPT. You can use that. You can put up your thoughts or the words you are struggling to, and you can get the details and even a sentence to form without word. Please use that. If you don't want to use a dictionary, you can use any AI tool. It's absolutely fine as long as you get the knowledge and you get the idea of the words and the sentence. Now, at this stage, I did something which was the biggest breakthrough of my English or the communication journey. Started thinking in English. I know this is one of the biggest problem right now. What you do generally, let's say first try to speak in English. What do? You first, whatever your native language, you try to form that in your native language and then try to convert that in your mind in English, and then you try to speak. It takes a lot of time. You need to convert that. So this is not an ideal way. So the ideal way is that you should think in English and you should speak so that you have the fluency, confidence and the comfortableness when you speak, right? So to get that, to achieve that, what I did, I try to speak with myself. Not all the time, but like I know it's a bit difficult. You always get the chatters, everything on your mind, but try to get that in English. Initially, maybe for 10 minutes or 30 minutes in a day is enough. You can sit quietly at night before you sleep. Just talk, in English, and try to formulate thought in English, and try to communicate with yourself in English. And anytime you are stuck with any word, let's say you are trying to formulate that in English, but in your native language, then what you can do, you can quickly go to the ChatGPT or any AI tool and just ask that, hey, can you please convert that to English? And then take that word, put that up on your mind and complete the sentence. This is a way you will train yourself to think in English, and that will improve your fluency like anything. I know initially it's frustrating, but if you keep doing it for a week or so, you will start seeing changes in your thought process. You would be thinking in English rather than translating your words from native to English. And if you do that, that's when you become more fluent while talking in English. Thinking isn't enough. You need to practice speaking to improve your communication. And I had a problem that I did not have a circle or the surrounding where I could practice that. So what I did, I tried finding opportunities wherever I got, like in the receptions, in hotel, in cafes, restaurant, wherever I went, I tried to communicate in English. And there is a funny story, which I had a HP laptop, and I used to have some problem in the laptop. So what I used to do, I used to call all this technical support team, and I used to speak for 30-40 minutes in English just to be more conversational. And one of my friends joked about this part was that he always said to me that, hey, you learned communication or English by just talking to this customer care agent. I'm not asking you to just talk to a customer care people, but whenever you get an opportunity or chance, just try to speak. Don't think about all the wrong or the mistakes you made, because it happened with me that I also froze in the call. I had to cut the call because I could not speak, or someone asked me a question over the call and I was like, what to answer? I was not able to formulate my thought. It happens all the time, but you should not stop it. You should keep talking, keep exploring opportunities wherever you get, and just try to speak. As more practice you do, more confident and more fluent you become. At this point, I could speak, but it wasn't smooth. So I used to use too much of filler words, too much of pause, gap. And so I was like, why exactly this is happening? I wanted to understand or investigate the problem. So I did something weird, or I would say this something came up from my mind actually. That time I was actually applying for a lot of data analytics job in and around Bangalore and the other cities. And I used to get a lot of calls from the HR, and they are the one who speak really, really good. So I started recording my call, and I started listening that call recording after every call, and I tried to figure out where exactly I was stopping, what are the words I was missing for, and what are the things it was actually causing that pause and the filler and everything. So I started investigating it. I started listening my voice over the phone, and I understood the problem. Now I think things are very simple. You can start recording yourself. You can just record any interviews or anything you're doing. You can just record and you can listen and you can see yourself. And you can see the gaps where exactly is happening, and then try to improve that gap. If you are serious about communicating in English, then I have two suggestions for you. And this is non-negotiable. The first one is that you should choose the uncomfortable path. And this is applicable for any learning. That whenever you feel uncomfortable, you should choose that. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have two newspapers. One is in a native language, let's say in Hindi, and another one is in English. You should always choose the English first, because that is uncomfortable, that gives you learning, and it's actually define and build you in future. Also, let's say if you are going by bus, going by a car, you see any billboards, any ad, anything, you should read that. I used to do that when I used to go to roam around cities for interviews and all. I used to read all these things. I could not find any words. I try to search the meaning, and I used to build up my vocabulary and the communication. Another example, let's say if you're talking with someone and you both are speaking in Hindi, and then suddenly the person switched to English. Now your instinct would be you would want to stay back to Hindi, but instead of that you should start speaking in English. So even though it is uncomfortable, even though you might make a mistake, you should do that, because nobody is perfect. Even I make a mistake. A lot of people make mistakes while communicating in English. So it's absolutely fine, but you should pick that uncomfortable path. And the next one is the perseverance. Even though you feel like quitting every day, you feel like it's not happening, I'm not learning, don't quit at all. Just keep doing it. And one day you'll feel that you are started getting that momentum of the knowledge in communication. And from that onwards, your graph will be upwards only. So build your confidence, learn, practice, speak. Listen to your mistakes and correct it. And most importantly, don't delay it. Start today. Don't tell yourself that I'll start next week, I'll start next month. Don't delay it any further. The more you delay, the more it will take time to reach your destination. If you want, then you can save this video and come back once you complete each steps. Maybe from 2-3 months from now, you can come back and tell me how far have you gone. That would be the best of making this video, to know that someone is actually following and someone is getting more confident and fluent through this process. And if you're already in the process, you are learning communications, then please let me know that how you're learning, what is the process you are following, so that also other can benefit from your learning process. And if you find it valuable, please give it a like so that it can reach to someone who is also looking out for the learning part. And share with someone also who is learning or trying to improve their communication skills. And thank you very much for watching. Signing off today. Bye bye.